Hello everybody, I'm Razorblade Mingo, and it is class time, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, so grab your pencils, take your seats. Today, we're going to be studying how not to do a game reveal. Case study today is Star Wars Battlefront. The long, I mean decade-long anticipated sequel, or as DICE puts it now, reboot, to the very good Star Wars Battlefront series back in the 2004-2005 era. Straight up, those two games are awesome. It's not just through my nostalgic lenses, like a lot of people saying, nostalgic glasses. No, I recently played them, hooked my PS2 back up, played both of them, love them both. Both of them are awesome, excellent games. Lots of content, really fun mechanics. Not the best graphics on the planet by today's standards, but they still look really good for their time. And now, this weekend, now that Star Wars Celebration is over, I was going to do this video a little sooner. But then, I decided to wait and, like I always like to do, just let it simmer. Wait until more information came out. So, now I feel comfortable saying this. The Star Wars Battlefront reveal at the Star Wars Celebration this year, in my opinion, was fucking terrible. And I'm not saying the game itself looks terrible. It actually looks fun. It looks like a fun game. I'm cautiously optimistic about it. And I was originally going to do a video about, what I didn't like or liked about the game. I don't want to do that, because you can go on the internet and find that everywhere. There's a lot of people. Go to fucking Reddit or the forums or anything. It's all there. All the reasons why I'm like very skeptical, very cautious about this game. It's all there. What I want to talk about today is how to not reveal a game, or how, like, a really just misguided marketing strategy. And what I want to study today is Star Wars Battlefront. Okay, so back in 2013, the legendary E3 2013, in my book at least, one of the most exciting reveals was for Star Wars Battlefront, that they were finally bringing that back. And I was so happy. It was a very short teaser, but it was enough. It was just an announcement. That, to me, is a reveal trailer. You are revealing that the game exists. That's a reveal trailer. And they even called it a reveal trailer. So now, okay, so they had that back in 2013. That was really cool. I was really excited about that. And more people, like, where's Star Wars Battlefront? When are we going to hear more about that? And then next E3 rolls around, E3 2014. They go, okay, well, we might have something for Battlefront related in there. Perfect, cool, all right. The EA conference commences, and they open with Star Wars Battlefront, but it's not exactly what we had in mind. It's one of those, like, they had a lot of them that year. Those, like, very documentary, featurette kind of reveals, I guess, where they just give a lot of lip service about how, we're trying to create the most amazing Star Wars game ever. We're like huge fans of the Star Wars license. We have the most amazing technology on the planet. We did all this research and everything. And, it was a lot of lip service, no gameplay, no actual gameplay. And the image of them going, this is all early in-engine footage. And when I looked at that, the first thing that came into my mind was, that looks way too good to be true. And that thought still remains. Everything that I've seen from this game so far, and if they just shown some gameplay, I would be, and even then, I would still be skeptical about it. But they didn't show gameplay at E3 2014. It was just one of those, like, featurette things. And I was like, alright, well, whatever. But the big kicker at the end was, see more in spring 2015. Alright, so they came to E3 with Star Wars only to tease more information that's going to come in spring 2015. Alright, so that's strike number one right there to me. Because not only did you just waste my time, you didn't really give me any kind of information on what it was. It was all just a bunch of cold, sterile PR lip service about, oh, how amazing Star Wars is. How amazing the well, they never mention, like, listen to this. Whenever they're talking about this, always listen. They never say, oh, we love the Battlefront series. Oh, we have such nostalgic value towards the Battlefront series. It's always about Star Wars. It's always the license itself. It's never the game that they're trying to do a sequel / reboot for. So, yeah, they never say, we love Star Wars Battlefront. It's always we love Star Wars, which we've heard over and over and over again from every single developer out there that's ever tackled a Star Wars game, how much they love the franchise, how much they have such nostalgic feelings towards it. That, to me at least, because I've heard it so many times, it's just meaningless. That doesn't mean anything to me. Yeah, there's a lot of people out there that love the Star Wars franchise that could probably fuck up the game so badly, or some of them have. So, okay, you know, time passes. We start to hear more teases of what's going to be in the game. And then they finally go, okay, we're going to do a full reveal, which they already did a reveal back in 2013. We're going to do a full reveal of it at the Star Wars Celebration. And it's like, cool, finally, we're going to see some actual gameplay. They already announced that the game would come out this year to coincide with the Force Awakens release. Alright, and then we get to April of 2015, and Star Wars Celebration begins. Day 2, the big headliner is Star Wars Battlefront. What is the first thing they do? They show us a 2-minute cinematic trailer. And I know they say, oh, it's built from all in-game footage, it's all about in-game footage. Alright, well, to me, that's not what Battlefront is going to look like. I can almost guarantee you that. It's not going to be this, like, it's not going to look like that. Especially not on the consoles, unless it's like 720p. If they want to get this up to 60 frames, it's not going to look like that on the consoles. I mean, Frostbite is powerful, but it ain't that fucking powerful. It's the PS4, I mean, I'm a big Sony guy, but even I know the PS4 has its limits. That it can do things, it can't do things that the PC can't. I'm sorry, that's the truth. That's the cold, honest truth. So, they showed that, and then they brought out the developers, and it was this, like, fan panel, and they said, okay, now you guys ready for, who the fucking host was a complete, just, ugh, I didn't like him at all. He just was like, you guys ready for an hour of Battlefront? Woo! Yeah, hour of Battlefront! And I was excited to hear all the information, because they actually had it leaked. And this is not their fault. It got leaked by some jackass who broke embargo. So you got to hear pretty much everything that they were talking about for that panel. I already knew all the stuff they were talking about. This was only like a direct confirmation. I was like, okay, third person, cool. But third person, cool. Villain characters, hero characters, cool. Offline split screen co-op, that is fantastic. That is a great addition. Amazing. Love it. But what they did wrong, well, not only did they not reel this guy in for saying shit, they focused way too much. They made three key mistakes. One, they didn't show any gameplay to the general public. Like, they didn't show any examples of what the game would actually run like on a PS4 or on an Xbox One. Alright? It was just that cinematic in-game engine footage stuff. The fucking press got to see it all, and we got to hear about it from the press, but haven't we learned time and time again that sites like IGN and GameSpot and Polygon, all these guys, that it comes from a very biased perspective because they're being told not to say anything negative about this? So we don't know what it really looked like. We can only go by other people's words. We need to see this in person. So that's one big mistake. They did not show any gameplay after almost 2 years of it being in the general public's knowledge that this game exists. that they do a reveal trailer for. It's not actual gameplay, it's just cinematics with in-game engine, which doesn't tell me anything. Alright, number 2. Their entire press conference, not even press conference, it was a fan conference, fan panel. Their entire panel was the same shit you heard in the trailer back in E3 2014, except extended to 30 minutes, or 35 minutes if I'm being generous. It wasn't even an hour. They just went up on that stage, had really crappy audio in their mics, and just talked about, oh yeah, how much we love Star Wars, we love this franchise, we remember growing up with it. Here's all the DLC that we're gonna have, here's this, here's that, there's third person. And it was stuff we already knew. And it was like, everyone's saying, oh, we should praise DICE for coming up with third person and hero characters and all that. No, we shouldn't, because that's the very basic thing you have to have in Battlefront. Okay? If you don't have that, it's not Battlefront. So that's like saying a cake should be praised for having flour in it. No, that's the basic ingredient. One of the basic ingredients. Without it, it's just not what the title says. All right. So, and I don't care. And I'm getting a little off track here, but I don't care if they call this Star Wars Battlefront. To me, this does not seem like Battlefront. This seems like Star Wars Battlefield. And I know probably DICE and EA are sick and tired of hearing this, but I'm sorry. It looks like a Battlefield game with a really, really good Star Wars mod to it. It does. I'm sorry, DICE, but it's the truth. And that brings me to my third point. So, second point. They just went on and on and on, just this cold, sterile lip service. Blah 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 blah. We love the Star Wars. Blah 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 blah. We love this. We blah. We love George Lucas. Blah 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 blah. So it was the same thing. You could see that entire press conference. Everything they said in that, you could see in that E3 2014 trailer. That's 2 minutes. And they just talked and talked and talked and talked, and it was so boring, and it was dull, and we didn't see any gameplay, and it was just, it made me mad. It made me really fucking bored and really fucking mad. Third mistake they made. They announced more exclusions than they did what was going to be in the game. They're talking about the wrong things as far as this game goes. They're talking about, one, they're talking way too much about the technology. Nobody... If it's not a Battlefront game, no one's going to give a shit how realistic your visuals are, how photorealistic everything is. I don't care about this lip service about how, oh, well, when you go inside an X-Wing in this game, because it's an actual prop scan from the movie, you're actually going inside an X-Wing. That doesn't mean anything to me when I can't take that X-Wing out into fucking space. So I can't get over this line about how, oh, you get to play out your ultimate Star Wars fantasies. So, the fact that they don't have space combat in this is like, it is just astonishing, because Star Wars, Wars Among the Stars, how do you not have space battles in a Star Wars game? How? That's like saying there's no Disney Worlds in a Kingdom Hearts game. It just doesn't happen, guys. And I understand when they first were starting out in Battlefront, and to be fair, that is absolutely no excuse not to have space battles in this game. Oh, just because the first Battlefront didn't have it, that's a reason for this new one to have it. No! We have next-gen tech, all the next-gen technology they're talking about, and oh, how great the visuals are, how we love Star Wars, how we're going to have the ultimate Star Wars fantasies. Space combat is sacrilege. Not having that in there is a big fucking no-no. That's no. I remember the PSP game having space combat. You could go from the ground into space. Not seamlessly, but it was there. That feature was there. That was one of the features we expected in this new Battlefront. But no, all we're getting is just dogfighting. Which is fucking wonderful. To be fair, I think dogfighting in the Star Wars games potentially sounds like a lot of fun. Footage from it sounds like a lot of fun, but space battles is such a painful exclusion, and just feels like a gigantic step back for this franchise. Also, no Clone Wars era, so you're not going to get the Battle of Geonosis, you're not going to get the Battle of Naboo, you're not going to get Utapau, you're not going to get, what the fuck is it called, what is that, the planet called with, the clone... damn it, I'll think of it later. You're not gonna get Mustafar, and it just feels like all this content is just being cut out of the game. I bet you can bet your ass that that's gonna be DLC. I mean, paid DLC. You want to play the Battle of Geonosis? $15. You want to do a battle on Mustafar? $10. So everything they don't have in this game, I can guarantee you, they're gonna have it as DLC. That's 3 letters Dice loves. No, that's 3 letters Dice and EA love. DLC. Not gonna give it to you at launch. They don't think having space combat should be included in your original $60 purchase. It's gonna be extra, because that's not part of the original Star Wars fantasies. Nobody as a kid watching those movies wanted to lead a strike on the Death Star. No. Because Star Wars is all about ground combat. All about dogfights. Even though it's called Star Wars. Alright, anyway. And they just focused way too much on what was going to be not in the game. They walked way too much about, oh, why isn't Clone Wars in the game? Why isn't a space combat in the game? Why isn't instant action in the game? Why isn't Galactic Conquest in the game? Why isn't Hunt Mode in the game? Why isn't a single player campaign in the game? Because, and this is they keep all of the reasons, like almost everything I see them responding to, like from, and oh, one of the biggest sins, the AT-ATs are not, this has been almost confirmed, the AT-ATs are not, you cannot control them. It's a turret section. When you get in an AT-AT, you can't control where it goes, which direction to look. It's going to be a fucking shooting gallery. Which is so stupid. Why the fuck is that a shooting gallery? And you know what? All the reasons, the one thing that this all ties to are the graphics. How good this game looks. We didn't have this because we wanted to focus on making this look good. We didn't have a single player because we wanted to make it 60 frames per second or what the fuck ever it is. We didn't want to do control the AT-ATs because we wanted to make everything photorealistic. Dude, fuck the graphics, man! That's not everything! I don't care if it's photorealistic or not. And again, this ties back into, I feel like they're trying to respect Star Wars, but not Star Wars Battlefront. Because there are certain expectations, when you attach that subtitle to Star Wars, when you attach Battlefront to it, you better damn well sure it captures the Battlefront spirit. And I cannot put into exact words what the Battlefront spirit is, but you can feel it when you play the original games. Alright? You know, if they had just made this, but called it something else, like Star Wars Ground Troopers, or Star Wars, Empires versus Rebels, or something that isn't Battlefront. Because to me, it doesn't feel like Battlefront. It doesn't. It has all of this wonderful technology, and yet it feels so completely soulless whenever I read up on it. All this bullshit speak, this PR speak, oh, I guarantee you they're not telling us everything. But the way they handled this this reveal was so bad, and so many people are divided into groups. As I expect, I wasn't expecting everybody, because it's EA and DICE, I knew something was going to go wrong with this eventually, but I didn't expect it to be so soon, that I would be so goddamn skeptical about this so fucking soon, because of key things that they're missing, or they're most likely going to add on as DLC later. which is ridiculous and such a goddamn and just fucking greedy industry is infecting franchises from my childhood. God damn it. And it's like, you know, everything's about the graphics. Everything's about making everything photorealistic rather than working on actually capturing the spirit of Battlefront. You know what? Do you want to know why people enjoyed that Force Awakening trailer? Because that captured the spirit of Star Wars. That was Star Wars at heart. Okay? Everything about that trailer was warm and loving. And it made me giddy. And I didn't even grow up with Star Wars. I never really considered myself a big Star Wars fan, but recently, with more of the stuff coming out, and I've rewatched the original movies. I really enjoy all of them. So yeah, I'd consider myself like a big Star Wars fan now. But really, it was more through Battlefront. Really, it was more through Battlefront that I got into Star Wars when I was like in middle school and in high school. So this series means a lot to me. And the way I feel like they're just treating it with such disrespect by just slapping the subtitle on there without actually understanding what Battlefront means. They're marketing it by name rather than feeling. And when I watch this trailer, it looks like every other Star Wars fight scene I've ever seen. Ooh, it's set on Endor. Big fucking deal. There's a lot of action scenes with Star Wars in it that are set on Endor that I've seen that are more exciting than that. Hell, the CGI trailers for the Old Republic, those were so much better than what I've been seeing from Battlefront right now. That's how you market your game, guys. You do that. And you talk about what's in the game. You talk about I haven't heard once how in what ways are we trying to improve? Because I'm not gonna lie, Star Wars Battlefront, it has flaws. That series, yeah, there's some of the things that are totally fucked up in it. But I never heard once from these developers how they're going to improve the series. How are we going to take the things that were fucked up in the original games, and how are we going to improve them for this new generation? How are we going to take the things that people loved in this new one, and we're going to make it better? How are we going to improve it? But no, it's this whole reveal was just, oh, we can't talk about it now. So you spent 9 months teasing this event, and you dropped the ball, and you won't even talk about the things that you teased were going to be talked about. Thanks. Thanks a lot, guys. No hunt mode, no galactic conquest, no instant action, no single-player campaign, no space battles, no clone era stuff. That's how we're starting this PR hype train off. By being completely fucking incompetent. And I promised I wouldn't go on a rant about this, but I'm sorry. It's like I'm really trying to give this game the benefit of the doubt. I really am. I'm trying to see like the good in this, but every damn time, I've come close to convincing myself that I should get excited about this. There's always something out there something new that gets revealed, or something that's said by the developers that just wipes away all of the effort I put into convincing myself, and I'm back to square one where I'm just completely fucking skeptical about this. Or I look at this and I just see Star Wars. I don't see Battlefront. I don't see how DICE is doing Battlefront justice. And this is why I wish Pandemic was still around. I really wish Pandemic could have stayed and could have given us Battlefront 3. A true Battlefront sequel. But instead we're with this new EA cash cow that they plan on doing. I can already see it going wrong. I see it being advertised like, pre-order now and you get a piece of free DLC a week before everybody else. Woohoo! Whoop-de-fucking-do! You get the digital deluxe edition. You get Han Solo's gun. Woohoo! You get some ion detonators that you can get for free in the original game. Woohoo! $10, please, for Solo's gun. For fuck's sake. God. Pre-order now. Pre-order now. Pre-order now. Fuck that shit! And once that season pass gets announced, I would bet my life on it. $100, anything. That once that season pass is announced, you're gonna get clone eras. You're gonna get Dagobah. You're gonna get space battles. You're gonna get galactic conquest. You're gonna get everything that we want. You're gonna get everything that you want. You gotta pay for it extra. Because they're too fucking lazy and greedy to put it in here. This, to be fair, this is all speculation. I don't know what's going to be in the season pass, but you can bet your fucking ass they're going to announce that soon. They're going to announce it either at E3 or they're going to announce it closer to the release date. November 17th is when it's going to come out. Alright, you have... I'm looking at the clock, guys. You have 7 months to convince me why this game is worth my money, why this game is worth my time, how this game actually deserves the right to be called Battlefront. Convince me. I really want you to. I want you, when I do my Star Wars Battlefront review, if I get the game, I want the first words out of my mouth to be, I was completely wrong. Thank you, DICE. Thank you, EA. I want to hear those exact words come out of my mouth. And if I don't, you failed. So anyway, that concludes a lesson on how not to market a game. You don't show gameplay, you just don't reveal any meaningful information, and you just reveal more what's not in the game or what's in it. And the reason why things aren't in the game that people want is because of the graphics. Fuck, I'd rather, at the cost of having it be 30 frames or 60 frames per second, I'll take 30 frames per second and I'll take Galactic Conquest, Instant Action, Clone Era, Space Wars, all of that over 60 frames per second. Just give me what I want. Give me what I want, guys. Alright. Thank you for watching, guys. If you like what you see, subscribe. Let me know what you thought about, you know, this whole Star Wars Battlefront thing. Hey, do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Let me know. Alright. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good one.